Hey folks, okay, we're going to do the video for 6-5. If you're given points on a circle, how are we going to figure out the standard form of a circle? So let's take a look at a couple of things. Okay. We have the standard form of a circle. We've seen this before. It's r squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. H and k are a center, right? The x value of the center and the y value of the center, and we have the radius. We have the distance formula, which we could use, and I'll explain to you how. Then we have the midpoint formula that we could also use to help us solve these types of problems. And we're going to see how that works. Okay. So let's take a look at the first example. All right, now this might be slightly different than what's on your sheet. I kind of wrote it out the way it would more likely look. State the equation of a circle with the center at 9, -15, and the point on the circle at 10, -18. So we want to get all this information to fit into here. Okay, our center is 9 and 15, so this is my h and this is k. What I need is the radius. So in order to find the radius, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the distance between these two. All right, let me show you what's going on. So if I have a circle, this is a terrible circle, and the point is at 9, -15. That's where the center is. The radius is somewhere over here and is at 10, -18. And I got this. I need to find this distance to get my radius. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the distance formula. As we saw before, the distance formula, and I'm going to write distance so we don't confuse this for something else, is x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay? The little subscript 1 and the little subscript 2, just like other stuff we do, just says that the order matters. And as long as you keep it consistent, you'll be okay. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to label this x1. I'm going to label that y1. I'm going to label this x2. I'm going to label this y2. And I'm going to plug that in. So distance equals 9 minus 10 squared plus -15 but plus 18. Before I punch this in, I'm going to double check and make sure I did this right. So x1, x2, y1, y2. And now really what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug that right into the calculator at once. Again, good reason why these newer calculators that do this math print work so well for this. Doing the distance formula by hand can be tricky, and it is very easy to make a mistake with it. So I just plug it all into the calculator. And I should have gotten 10. Let's try that again. So square root 9, wait, maybe I shouldn't have. Square root 9 minus 10 squared plus -15 plus 18 squared. Okay, I got square root of 10. I'm sticking with that. Okay. Now, that's my radius. Okay, so my radius, let's switch off. My radius is square root 10. All right, I have my h and k and my radius, so I'm going to just plug that right into here. Let's say x minus 9 squared plus, let's see, k is 15, y plus 15 squared equals square root of 10 squared. Now notice the way I wrote the parentheses around the whole thing. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on the calculator, but if I square this, I might not necessarily get the answer. So I'm going to square the whole thing. So now I'm going to have x minus 9 squared plus y plus 15 squared equals 10. Okay, and that is the answer to that. That is the equation for this circle. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so this time we're going to state the equation of the circle. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Looks like you can. Okay. State the equation of the circle given the endpoints of the diameter, -4, and 12, -16. So let's take a look at what's happening this time. I'm going to draw my terrible circle again. Okay? And what they did is they gave me, let's see, this would be just making some stuff up here. 12, well, I guess that would be over here. 12, -16. Then this would be -4, -4. So they gave me the diameter of the circle. And in order for me to fill this out, this x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, I need to find the center. So I need to find the center here, which would be xy, and I need to find the radius. So it's a two-step problem. Okay, step one, I'm going to find the midpoint. The way I find the midpoint is I have x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And now I'm going to plug that stuff in. So I'm going to label this. I keep switching between these colors. I'm trying to keep these boards as clear as possible for you. That's x2 and y2. So I have -4 plus 12 divided by 2. Then I have -4 minus 16 divided by 2. I can punch that right in the calculator, but I know that -4 plus 12 is 8. Then divided by 2 is 4. -4 minus 16 is -20. Then divided by 2 is -10. Okay, so this is my h and this is my k. Next, I need the radius. In order to do that, I have to find the length of the diameter and divide it by 2. You can use the center to a point, but keep in mind, if you're taking a multiple choice test and you get this wrong, you might not catch your error. Okay, so I'm going to say distance, I'm going to try not to make a mess here, being left-handed, equals x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Notice I always write it out. That's how I keep this stuff memorized. I just write it out each time I use it. Specifically, the distance formula is a very confusing formula to remember. This is -4 minus 12 squared plus negative 4 plus 16 squared. And this distance again. And let's see what I get. I'm just going to plug the whole thing right into the calculator. Second. Let me make sure I did this right. So negative 4, 12, negative 4, negative 16. Okay, so negative 4 minus 12 squared minus negative 4 plus 16 squared. And I got 20. Now remember, this is my diameter. So let's switch colors here. My diameter equals 20. To get the radius, I have to divide this by 2. So I'm going to say 20 divided by 2. I'm going to get 10, which then equals the radius. So now I have my h and k, and now I have my radius. I can plug those stuff right into the standard form of the circle. So my equation for this circle is going to be x minus 4 squared plus y plus 10, let me make that look a little bit more like a y, plus 10 squared equals 100. All right, guys. That's how we do that. It's a couple of steps. Like I said, just keep in mind, rewrite your equations every time you do it. This way you have the stuff memorized for when you don't have it. All right, guys. I hope you guys found this video helpful.